Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato, and you can see everything getting ready for today's races out there. We got tractors going around. Boy, that turf course is
Coming
certainly
together.
looking good. We got lots of things going on out there, and we're going to be. Well, a Rainbow Six today with about $50,000 in the gross jackpot guaranteed. Of course, they hit it last Sunday, and back today, races 6 through 11.
Yeah, and there was, one single yesterday going into that last race, so we'll see. It's not an easy card today. We'll get into it in a bit. I'm interested to see your ticket as well, because I definitely think there's some bobbing and weaving kind of spots today where you can take a chance at this thing.
Yeah, it's if you could find that one single that you think can run well, always helps when you're going for the Rainbow Six. But we know we got a really good early pick 5 today. Of course, we got stakes action part of it. So this first race today is going to be about 5.5 on the Tapeta Maiden, claiming 2-year-olds, $16,000. We did have an early scratch here of the morning line favorite, number 7, Cox Canyon, and Brian put together an early pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, this is an odd one. I'll tell you what, both of these sequences are not easy. I'll single off the rip with Kakari, we'll get to in a second. They're 4 deep in race 2 with the top pick, number 10, Look Up to Heaven. We've got, that one had a trip last time, another single. I think Running Memories at the end of the day is just too good for the field in our stakes. And then a 5x4 double to get out. Ronnie, I thought the 2-year-old race in race 4 was really, really tough. I went to Dream Night, and then I went outside to Rebel Day, beaten favorite last time. I will come back to him, but I'm going 4 deep in that race 5 to get out in this sequence. It is not easy.
Yeah, you got a couple of good singles, and I'm in agreement with the stakes race this afternoon with Running Memories. So getting back to this first race today, I mentioned scratch the 7. Kakari taking all the early money right now, and probably rightly so, especially with the scratch of the 7. This one's dropping to the 16 level after chasing the pace and fading. But that was behind that next out stakes winner, no-name dude. That was a state-bred special weight going 6 furlongs, and that was a good main track that day.
Yeah, I just kind of think this horse would have been a strong favorite overall. I mean, this is a big drop, and this horse chased early and showed some speed on debut. Now, you can question, can this horse run at all? I mean, gave it up very, very badly. Was 7-1 that day. Now, immediately, we're in for 16. These are not great signs. The other thing, too, Ron, it's kind of tough to come up with somebody else in this race.
The number 5 Unified Weekend is where I went with the second one. Is the son of Unified debuting for Antonio Sano. What I like about this horse, got a string of stamina-enhancing 5 furlong workouts showing in preparation for this 5.5 furlong debut on the all-weather surface. I like to see that. Yeah. So this horse has been legged up at this 5.5 furlong distance.
Yeah, I mean, the works that's a good sign, and seems to have some stamina, as you alluded to. 4% debut barn. I mean, we've got to mention that. Antonio's not a guy that's going to crank him up. We haven't seen a lot from the 10-pound apprentice Jaime Torres, but I've been impressed with what we have seen in the limited action. He's got a couple wins in a couple seconds, and he's not riding 6 horses a day. So, he's a jockey to take note of. We'll see what we get by post time on Unified Weekend. You want to see him live taking money.
Yeah, the number 1, Hello Sucker, a big price on the morning line, sitting up there at 5 to 1. Figured you would pick this horse. Comes out of a pretty good race.
He's got a huge figure for this field, and he comes out of a very, very live race, so wouldn't be shocked to see him take a little money.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, and I was in different way of thinking for me. I actually got my best bet here early on in the card, and that's, first of all, it's 6.5 furlongs, claiming fillies, 3-year-olds, 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, $6,250. Scratch the number 3 in here, Miss Universe. I thought that Chasing Joy was the one to beat. Changing Barnes going to the Claudio Gonzalez barn after becoming the only 3-time winner in the field, one of my favorite angles. She scored at 5.5 furlongs. She's a previous winner at 6.5 furlongs. He's got his go-to jock Jose Morelos in the saddle. All the things I like in here, and I thought I could get a bit of a price in a field that's got 9 runners in it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This horse was favored on the morning line. I think she should be favored on the morning line. You know what bugged me a little bit, Ron? You look at her form. Good figure, bad figure, good figure, bad figure, good figure. It says today maybe she's regressing, but Claudio off the claim 24%. So I do think the race goes through her. I hammered her 2 back, and she stunk. But last time she got back on the beam. She's a 3-time winner. Everybody else has 2.
Well, you went to the outside with a horse, Look Up to Heaven, and this one trained by Steve Boudou and ridden today by Romero Mirage.
Yeah, this horse had a trip last time. Steadied at the start, lost several lengths. The old "there off you lose." That was I had her 9 wide in my notes on the far turn. She was a lot more than 5 wide on the far turn. She lost a lot of ground. She's also dropping in half today. She's supposed to wake up. Hopefully she has a much better trip. Hopefully breaks with this field and gets some speed to run into.
Yeah, I just thought it was so wide up. After Chasing Joy, we can make a
Yes.
case for everybody in the
Agreed.
race. Stakes action, race number 3 today early on, about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's a handicap, fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. It is the $55,000, the Miami Gardens. And Running Memories, of course, are going to go back and show you this horse's last performance, along with the horse that's going to battle with it today, and that is Poseidon's Passion. And you can see the Running Memories is the number 4 horse in here. Now, it's dueling all along with Miss Aramet in there, and just takes command here. And just watch the 3 Poseidon's Passion. You see the quarter time of 21-4. Did it set up perfectly for the 3? It looked like the 3 was going to go by for me, Brian, but no, the 4 held on and was very game in the end. Of course, that's Running Memories. I thought this is one of her gamer performances.
I'm glad you showed this replay too, because obviously we're showing it because these are the 2 main protagonists in here. But it's also a good discussion and watching replays. And okay, you look at the race. Running Memories beats Poseidon's Passion by a neck. Well, we just showed it to you. Who ran the better race? Running Memories was a month the best.
Right.
And they could have ran around 3 times, and Poseidon's Passion was not getting by. So you have to look at those kind of things. On the face of it, yeah, they hit the line together. Running Memories was a neck the best. So much better in that race, and I agree with you. She's going to be really tough in here.
Well, what did you see with the 5 Sequin Lady?
Well, what I saw was that we know Running Memories is going to run her race because she does it every time. Poseidon's Passion got set up last time. Her form, her overall body of work is nothing like that race. To me, she's coming back a little bit today. And Sequin Lady, you look at that race on the Tapeta, 4 back here at Gulfstream. That puts her in the mix for second in here, and you know she's going to get a positive flow. I don't think she can win this race, but I think she can pick up a lot of pieces, Ron. Leading jockey landing here as well.
I'm sorry, in front of you mentioned the 5, because I saw that with the 4 Traverse in here a little bit. And was run well in the past. You go down its past performances against this level of competition. Wheels back, duel throughout, finished second against those 25 allowance optional claimers, sprinting, of course, on the all-weather. It's got the form to run well in here. You go back on this horse's past performances, maybe a horse like this can grab it. Hey, look, Ashley.
Oh, look at that.
Our old buddy Ashley back in town.
I think we know her. She likes winning races, Traverse, as well. So normally people are heckling us out there. She's actually saying hi to us.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
positive.
It's good to see her. So that is a good race, you know what I mean? It goes through Running Memories without saying.
No doubt. 4 to 5 on the morning line. And I think she probably will be odds on in here.
The race number 4, not the number 4. Race number 4 is 1 mile maiden special weight for 2-year-olds, no scratches, jockey changes, and a nice race. You went deep in here, and I could understand why. I'll start it off with my horse on top in here, and that's 2 Il Miracolo, who's stretching out to a 1-turn mile. Shook off some trouble at the start to finish second. Both previous sprints under special weight conditions. Antonio Sano found this very intriguing. This son, Lionel Reyes at the top, this is a son of Gunrunner, who's bred now. He didn't sell for what Gunrunners sell for, but you just think that this is maybe the distance is going to be key for this horse.
You could certainly see that. Tap it on the bottom of this pedigree too. So you're right. Probably wasn't much of a looker, but Antonio seems to have maybe found a little diamond in the rough here. This is the progression for Antonio. He gets a few races under their belt, and then they improve. This was the last horse I used, but I certainly wasn't playing a ticket without him.
Well, Sappy Joseph's got 2 in here, Mr. Ripple and Dream Knight, and you went with Dream Knight. Do I remember you singled this horse in your ticket? Or?
No, 5 deep.
You're 5 deep, yeah. Dreams, and this one stretched out after an okay 4th in his 7th furlong debut.
Yeah, and we've got a stat here, too. And Ronnie mentioned Saffy's got a couple in here, and I would think Mr. Ripple will be the one they're going to bet, and I understand it. And we'll talk about Mr. Ripple in a second. How about this? Second-time starter, sprinter route on dirt in the past 5 years. Not a huge sample, but this is our leading trainer upping the ante a little bit. 33% from a 21-horse sample, a positive ROI, too. I think we're going to get better on Dream Knight. The dam was a real runner. She won the Grade 1 Spinaway back in the day. It's her second full. The other one wasn't much, but I think there's a lot of reason to think we're going to improve in a big way today.
Number 8, the other horse
Yeah.
from Saffie, Mr. Ripple, is a $115,000 son. I like that it's a $115,000 son of Dialed In, debuting for Saffie. Consistent work tab showing up Palmettos. So I was interested. I just looked back about Saffie's 18% with horses debuting at a mile or more.
That's impressive because if you think about that, when you look at past performances, a lot of trainers don't have those kind of percentages. It's very difficult to win at a route of ground on debut. The dam was 2 for 18, took her 4 starts. She did win a Woodbine Stakes on there. I think it was Polly back then, excuse me. 8th full. The others were not much. None of them won on debut. Food for thought.
Race 5 this afternoon, a 1 mile claim at 3 and up, 6,250, full field of 12. And I, like you, went with the number 11, Rebelde. Is returning to the winning level, I think, today. Stepped off that claim by Rohan, failed to handle those 16 starter option claim. You know, it's that old bump up after the claim.
Yep.
6-time winner at the distance, Samuel Camacho Jr. in the saddle.
There's a lot going on in this race, and this was kind of a default pick on Rebelde. Ronnie, he claims him for 6,250. He runs him. He doesn't run last time. Now he's back. I get it. Rohan plays a good game of poker in these type of spots. This horse doesn't have to win, but I do think he's the best horse in here.
What'd you see with the 12 in here? Hero on the outside.
Well, I mean, he beat Rebelde last time, and he beat him on the square, and he's going to get a better trip than him today, too. I just worried. The reason I didn't pick him, because even though he did beat Rebelde last time, the reason I didn't pick Hierro is I kind of think that race is way up here for him, and I kind of think he's going to come back a little bit. Sammy Camacho on Rebelde, right? We'll see how he rides today.
Number 8, Causalistic, is dropping to this level today. First starts in facing tougher both here and at Tampa before going to the sidelines in April. Diane Marici pretty solid with this type of layoff, 21%. Lionel Reyes, so I thought maybe that horse had a shot.
This is an interesting horse. Ronnie said it. Diane does good in this kind of a layoff, 21%. We got a bullet up there at Palmettos. This horse is dropping in class. Don't sleep on this horse.
Let's take a short break, and when we come back, hope Brian will not be sleeping when I got my Rainbow Six ticket together.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. Sixth race this afternoon is going to be 7 furlongs on that fast main track. Maiden optional claim is 3-year-olds and up. That optional tag, if you're not a Florida bred, $40,000. Note the number 7 is listed as a gelding. I put my Rainbow Six ticket together, $43.20. And, you know, with only the $50,000, I like to save, you know, maybe make it a little smaller. But I, like you, had a tough time doing this afternoon. We'll talk about the 7, the sixth race in a moment. Race number 7, just going too deep with the number 4, Kia Storm, and the number 6, La Costa. You got to say it right for some reason. You have to get held at. Race number 8. You go with Todd here. Instinctual got some good things, but got some nicely bred horses in that race. Prairie Hawk, Point Liam. Race number 9, Prince of Iron. Today is my little bit of a price for David Fawkes. And race number 10, Poema, Sea Art, and Easy Come, Easy Go from Ronaldo Richards. And then in the last, I think the race goes through whatnot, but I use Cat's My Gal, who's changing barns, now in the Jose D'Angelo barn.
I like it. It's not easy. You mentioned a couple horses, my long shot included, that you use. So we'll see what we get today. And listen, we're like a broken record up here, but this is a great day to jump in the pool, no pun intended, because, you know, you have a day and you can sweep this thing.
Brian, I went with number 8, Winging It here, who to me has shown tons of promise, including that second place finish behind that repeat stakes winner, Eldon's Prince on the turf. That was in the $75,000 Proud Man. Now returns from the year-plus layoff, Lasix, turns back to 7 furlongs in the main track. $200,000 son of intermission. My favorite angle, showing speed on the grass, going long, turning back to 7/8 on the main track. I don't know what this horse is, 4-1 on the morning line. I think this horse has a shot in there.
I agree. It's the question. The elephant in the room is, what are you going to get today? We haven't seen this horse in a long time. It's not a huge sample, but Jenna Antonucci's 0 for 9 off this kind of elongated layoff. We do come back with Lasix, okay? Not in for a tag. That's a great sign off the layoff, so obviously they still like this horse, still think this horse can run.
The number 5, Starship Renegade, who's a half-brother to stakes winner Starship Bonita, is where you went.
Yeah, surprise weekend as well. Both of those horses earned combined almost $1 million. The dam was unraced. Miguel Vasquez lands here. It's Steve Dwoskin and Miguel. We don't need to tell you a lot more than that. Now, 6% debut barn, maybe we need a race. I think this horse is an interesting newcomer, Ronnie, in a race where you're doing the same thing, a newcomer in a race where the ones we've seen lately, I don't know.
And the number 1, Dominican High School, will figure on the what have you done lately angle after knocking on the door in 5 consecutive races at 6 or 6.5 furlong distance. The last 3 is the favorite. Do I need to say more? This one's got to get a win sooner or later.
If you're a speed figure guy, 75, 70, 70. 52.
Yeah.
Which way are we going today?
Yeah, going the wrong way right there. 7th race this afternoon, about 1 mile, 70 yards on the Tapeta starter optional claim of fillies and mares. 3-year-olds and upward scratch to 7, winning at ease. And the outside horse, number 10, Crystal Coast. And, of course, we got our late pick 5 in here. And did you use the number 4, Handicapping Storm?
I did. The old reverse pyramid here. This is not an easy sequence. I'd like to hope I get through here in race 7. I did not use her on top. Outside the 11, Prairie Hawk on debut for Safi in race 8. Race 9, Advanced Cash for me. The complexion of race 10 changes exponentially with Demo Wonder coming out. My long shot, easy come, easy go, is going to need some help now, but I will stick with her. And then there's the single, my best bet of the day, Cat's That Gal in race 11.
That is race number 11. I used that horse on my Rainbow Six, but not singled like Brian. Getting back to this race here, the number 4, Handicapping Storm. Hoping to get back to her winning ways after her 3-race win streak ended when she finished 3rd behind a hard-knocking horse who won yesterday. That's Jazzy T. Back in August, it's Jose D'Angelo.
Bobby DeBona trains Jazzy T. And Handicapping Storm, I think, is definitely the horse to beat in here. Does she have to win? No, but I think she's going to end up favorite. I think she should be, and her overall body of work has been in really, really good form. That group last time was a month better than this group today.
Well, I'm glad you put the number 6, La Costa, on. We're going to go back and show you.
Yep.
We're going to pick our race up from the top of the stretch home, and I want to see how impressive she was. She is the number 4 there, and you look on the inside, she's dealing with the 3 to 5 shot Cadencia, and she runs by this horse like sort of like she was almost tied to the fence there and just went by her. It was very impressive. 18-1 that day.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen today. But, and here's once this runs out here, we'll show you a stat on Frank Russo. This is one of these barns. You know, we talked about Todd Pletcher, obviously, who everybody's heard of. And that's Todd Pletcher running second, I believe, with the Clips colors. So here's Frank. Now, this is a barn maybe you're not as familiar with, but he's back now after kind of a little sojourn up to the Mid-Atlantic, New Jersey, where he goes in the summer. This is a high percentage barn that is going to win a lot of races here this winter at the championship meet, and he's doing a good work on Tapeta, Ron.
The number 8 horse is a horse I had some interest in, Your Inheritance, who goes to the Rohan Crichton barn after the claim stalked the pace, finished 3rd against those 12-5 claimers. But this barn is a whopping 36% with new claims, and you get an Emerson Jaramillo in the saddle.
Yes, and yes, but he's got his work cut out here because he's a little slow on paper, and we're moving way up in class. But I agree with you. I'm not playing a ticket without her.
Let's go to the 8th race, another really nice race on today's card. 6 furlongs, maiden special weight, 2-year-old scratch to 4 Grand Bay. This is a really nice race in here. You went with the number 11. Let's start it off with a Prairie Hawk for you, who's the son of Curlin.
Yeah, and I heard you on the radio this morning mention that this is a half-brother to Quip, who was really, really good. Won the Grade 2 Tampa Bay Derby, won a Grade 2 at Oaklawn as a 4-year-old, a big-time pedigree here. We'll see what we get. We say it all along, but tab the tote board here. This horse needs to be live and taking money 9-2 on the morning line. I want to see this horse a lot lower than that, to be honest with you, because this horse is supposed to be better.
Yeah, and the runner-up in the Arkansas Derby, the
Yes,
grade
good
1,
point.
too. Quip, not this horse. Instinctual. Yeah, I like this horse this afternoon. A Virginia-bred, $155,000 Son of Good Magic. Debuting locally for Todd. Stalked the pace, finished third behind a pair of next out winners. One of those horses, 2 fills, went up and won a stake at Canterbury in his next start. So I just thought that this was coming in with some pretty good, records of horses that he's faced. I thought this horse could run well.
I agree. There's other sides to the coin, too, though. This horse was at that Colonial, a little odd. I know it is a Virginia bred, but that was not a state bred race. We break from the rail, too. 9th full out of the dam. The other 8 were not that much. We're going to take all the worst of it, 2 full, all the worst of it down inside. Also, you're going to be a short number in here. Todd won with one of these kind of horses, though, yesterday that came from Monmouth and didn't run in New York and won here yesterday.
I wonder, we got a stat that you had on Todd, right? I believe instinctual.
Oh, yeah, let's check this out. Yeah, I was jumping the gun with Safi there.
Yeah.
So this is his second-time starters at Gulfstream with these 2-year-olds. So, a lot of these samples, too, because obviously when Todd really gets going, the horses are turning 3.
Yeah.
So a lot of these horses are horses coming from other places. It's a big stat, 29%, but obviously with Top Pletcher, you take underlaid prices.
I got to show you the performance of the
Yes.
number 8 Point Liam up at Monmouth Park. We're going to pick it up here at the start. You'll see this horse is the number 12 on the outside. And you're going to see this horse stumble briefly at the start. But that's just part of the action here. Now you're going to watch this horse say, well, we stumbled at the start. This one's going to go rush up and get the lead in this race. And just goes up. And if you hear track announcer Frank Miramati in this race just saying, oh, look, this horse got the lead. So he stumbled at the start, rushed up to get the lead. And this does not last that long as far as the lead goes. You'll see as they turn, he gets passed by a bunch of horses in here. But he goes up. They had to get positioning from a tough outside post. And, of course, now you're going to see the rest of the field. They've got him marked. They're going to come up and try and grab him here, which they do. And this is longer, a little replay. But this is a part. So now you say, well, this horse is done. Now we're going to pick it up at the 8-pole home. And I thought this horse was game, fighting on the inside there. He ends up being third. But, boy, he was fast early, backed up. You could see all the horses strung out behind him. I think this horse is going to run well for Terry Pompey.
If we stop that video entering the far turn and you ask someone, where's this horse going to finish, you're going to say 8th, beating 11 lengths.
And he's on the rail, and he's the 12, right? So I just thought it was a video I wanted to show. So I'm going to add that horse on my ticket for that reason. I love the work that Terry Pompey does.
Absolutely.
Race number 9, 7 furlongs, allowance optional claimers, state bred 3 and ups. Scratch the 7 horse in here, Cross Haste in here. I got my little bit of a long shot in here. Couldn't find that 120 to 1 shot for me today. Prince of Iron, who showed ability sprinting here last winter. So coming off the bench for David Fawkes, his horses have been running well. He's 24% with this type of layoff. And I want to see if this horse takes some action here. 4th on the morning line, which is probably right.
Yeah, this horse was actually, I believe, was entered for a tag, and Dave scratched him out last week or a couple weeks. Now pops back up in a spot where he can't be claimed. That's a very, very good sign. Listen, if this horse is right, he can run. The question is, what are you going to get today off that February layoff?
You went with the number 3 horse, and you have a little further down. We actually got our thing flip-flopped around. Advanced Cash, who was a good second last time out, beating 3 parts of a length.
Yeah, he was a fast second, too. Those Colonial dirt races can be a little tricky. They only run 1 or 2 of them a day. It's an all-turf kind of predominantly track, but ran very, very well. Lionel's been aboard the last 2. He's going to ride again here. Open company, obviously, at Colonial, dipping in with state breds today.
The number 8, Avant Glory, stretching out to 7 furlongs, returned from that 2-month freshening to stalk the pace, finish 5th as the 4-5 favorite. That was going 3/4. It was a sealed, sloppy track. I think the screws are tightened today for Safi and MSC El Jaramillo.
Yeah, it might have been twofold last time. It might have been the slop, and then he's also tangling up with Dean Delivers 2 back, and he probably paid the price last time. I think he can rebound on dry land today.
And just quickly, September 10, a reclaim by Rohan Crichton. You got to like that. We got a stat, I think.
We do have a stat on Rohan, and the reclaim run. He said 36% overall. Here he is off the claim in dirt sprints the past couple of years. So that's 8 for 18, 44%. The ROI is huge, predictably. Rohan, I will say this. The barn's a little slow into this sunshine meet. We'll see what we get today, but down inside could be a little problem.
Let's go to race number 10 this afternoon. And we got the 7 furlong sprint. We got these 7 furlong sprints this afternoon on the main track. Allowance optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. The optional claiming price is $25,000. You made a great point here with the scratch and the number 4, Dem or Wonder. Things have really turned around in this spot. I believe you have your long shot in here with the number 8, Easy Come, Easy Go.
Yeah, I mean, the scratch knocks the price down a lot, too. I was hoping to get 8-1 before the scratch. We'll see what we get today. This is Miguel Vasquez and Ronaldo Richards. The Ronaldo Richards, we haven't seen a lot of this barn. It's been very, very high percentage, very prolific with everything he does. They bet the horses hard, reaches out for Miguel. Let's take a look at a stat here, too. And it's not a huge sample, but this is a barn without big samples. Here's 4 for 10 with Miguel riding. Miguel Vasquez riding here at Gulfstream. You better take note of this horse. This horse was in a lot better spot when Demo Wonder was in the race. There's no horse that'll run here at Gulfstream this month that gets a better break when Demo Wonder comes out than Puima.
Yeah, 24% also with new claims, and 24% with the 61 to 180-day layoff. They removed the blinkers, and as you mentioned, they put Miguel Vasquez on there. Puima has just been going so good, this horse. She's going well. She cuts back to 7 furlongs. She drew clear impressively to defeat those state-bred allowance optional claimers, going a mile. The trainer is Larry Bates. He doesn't have many horses, doesn't start many horses. This horse has been running so well for him, and yet Edgar Perez handling the jump up to open competition, but I'm going with the visual fact that this horse has been running well, and I struggled, but I had to put this one on top.
Well, yeah, and now she's not going to have to look to her right and see Demo Wonder pressing her the entire way. She's loose and controlling in here. Maybe American, of course, pesters her a little from down inside. You see the race, too, back. She's going 44-4. She's as fast as she wants to be early. The scratch here is huge.
The number 7 Seahawk had defeated Puima when they knocked heads at 7 furlongs, going to try and do it again. And when she also steps up, she's going to try this open company. Coming up from state bred, Victor Barboza Jr., Lionel Reyes going for 2 in a row. So Seahawk been right there, against it, and a proven commodity at 7/8 of a mile.
Agree with all of it. She got a hellacious pace last time to run into, and that's why she won. And you look at the figure, nothing like she's ever done. She's going to have to earn it today.
Race number 11 this afternoon is going to be a stretch out to 1 mile and 1/8. We had one of these last week. We got another one today on the Tapeta for maiden, claiming fillies 3 and up, $12,500. I think you had your single in here, and that's Cats That Girl, now in the Jose D'Angelo barn.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to be, to me, looks like a huge favorite in here. We'll see. I know What Not is 2-1 on the line. Cat's That Girl. We're going from Von Belzoir to Jose, and we pick up Miguel Vasquez as well. Had a crazy bad trip on debut, broke from the parking lot as well. I would think this horse blows way up today.
Yeah, one of the horses you sort of have to use, What Not, who was well meant going around 2 turns on the Tapeta. Now, that was back in June, stretches out, came off the bench, finished that good 5th, going 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather. I like the fact that this horse has run well at that distance. Now going to try the mile and an 8. Lionel Reyes rides for trainer Liz Dobles.
Yeah, no, this horse is fine. Don't get me wrong, but we're 0 for 7 with no reason to think that she improves. I mean, maybe stretching back out is going to help. We are well drawn. And, Cat's That Girl's 51-1 on debut. I get that. So we'll see. At least What Not, she's consistent.
Number 3, Disco Queen, is stretching out to the mile and an 8 after closing to finish 4th, going 8.5. So maybe the distance will help this one. Maybe it's just what the daughter of Unified needs today.
Yeah, she's in the mix. I mean, you're going to have 2 strong favorites, and Disco Queen might fall through the cracks a little bit. So you get a square price if she's for you.
Pretty solid 11 race card. Love the maiden races that we have here for the 2-year-olds, and just a good sequence all afternoon. But we're not done yet. We got our lightning round, and things are really starting to percolate around here, getting ready for that championship meet.
Yeah, you see big doings. We could have put Green up there. You see, if you've been watching us the last week and a half, we haven't been behind you here with the horses because of what we can now show you. Look at this beautiful new walking ring. Ronnie, we've been walking around it the last couple of days. It looks tremendous.
Yeah, it looks really good. Of course, the fountain not on. They're redoing the fountain because everything's going to be sparkling and brand new. The most important thing is that turf course. We're going to see a picture of the turf course. It is looking sharp.
Yeah, and so we are expecting turf racing back here in early December, whatever that first racing day is on the calendar. in December, and you can see it right there in and of itself. It looks tremendous, and I know you can speak with this. I'm the gambler that's been doing it for a long time. You've been here doing it for a long time. We think of Gulfstream, we think of turf racing in the winter.
Absolutely, and we're going to have a lot of good races for those newly turned 3-year-olds this year. You saw the stake schedule. It's going to be a fantastic meet this year. Best bet for Brian today?
Yeah, whereas we just talked about it, the last race, Catch That Girl. Yeah.
And I'm early on in the early pick 5 or early pick 4 with Chasing Joy for Claudio Gonzalez. Long shots today. You got a nice one. Going to be down a little bit because of the scratches in that race. Easy come, easy go. And mine, 9-2. I really couldn't jump off and find anyone. Prince of Iron for David Forks, hoping he comes back and run. And nice race tomorrow.
Yeah, your girl Mary Coy Contrary, who's been very good to you, is back in tomorrow. Stepping up, facing a tough group, but boy, she has done nothing wrong, and you're going to see her run down. She never looks, I want to say she never really looks like she's going to win, or never really looks good, and then she always gets it done in the end.
Yeah, she's been incredible, and she's lightly raced, and she's got some upside. I think she's going to run exceptionally well in there. Good race last time out. You can see Starship Nala was good performance, who's also going to be in that race tomorrow. And then today, mandatory payout at Santa Anita is going to be a couple of $1 million.
Yeah, they're expecting 2. I always bet the over on that. I thumbed through this sequence briefly, Ronnie. Wow, it is not easy. Get involved.
Well, it's a great thing to get into. And I like here it's a 20-cent ticket, so you can put some extra horses in there. So good luck with all your selections. We're going to turn it over to Mr. Peter Aiello with all the scratches and jockey changes, and then we'll be back for race number 1. It's very simple.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.